I cannot believe that when this video comes out, it's gonna be wedding week. Ooh. Hey y'all, and what is up? It is me, Lauren, here with Plan with Laur, and today we are talking about the two things that kind of rule my life right now, wedding and planning. I am filming this in advance, so by the time that this comes out, it means that I will officially be walking down the aisle in 3 days. I cannot believe it. We've been planning this wedding for 2 years and it is officially happening. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you all of the planner and the planning tools that we use to plan our wedding. Yo, I feel like we've been talking about this for so long. I cannot believe it's actually happening. This is funny to me. It may not be funny unless you're a planner person. In the planner world, we always talk about our planner stacks, right? Like the 2, maybe 3, maybe more planners that we're using to help us like keep on track with everything. You know, chart our goals, manage our tasks, plan our days. And the funny part is that like, I have a wedding planner stack. Who would have thought? I mean, I probably could have guessed given that I love a good planner stack. But essentially there are 4 planner or like tools that are in my wedding planner stack. Without them, I do not know if I would be as calm or like at least as calm as I can be right now, a week out from the wedding. All right, now before we dive in today's video, let me know what is the best advice that you have for your wedding day, because you know, it's coming up. All right, but now let's get into our wedding planner stack. So caveat I will say is that we actually have been like working with a wedding planner. Shout out to Sojourner from Organic Designs. She has been the absolute best. She is part planner, part therapist, part wedding like godmother. And even though I am super type A, I also understand like my own limitations and I understand what like I can do, what I want to do, all of those things. And seriously, we could not have gone through this process without her and her team. Okay, so let's get started with the first one in our stack, and that is going to be this Erin Condren, it's upside down right now, green shoes notebook. That's right, the first one is a notebook, but I went ahead and I got this in 2019. We didn't actually get engaged until 2021, but we started seriously talking and thinking and planning our wedding back in like 2019. I think it was really important for me to go ahead and start with a notebook and not an actual planner, because I needed a space for all of my hopes, for all of my dreams, and like a vision for like the wedding organization to all go ahead and fall into one place. But even though I did use planner, and yes, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get to this in a second, but I think like an important distinction here is that like this notebook just allowed me to brainstorm. It allowed me to dream. It allowed me to have all of my wildest ideas like captured in one space. Because when I then moved on to the planners, that's when it was time to get into the details. So I chose the notebook so that I could go ahead and stay focused on ideating and brainstorming for our wedding. So let's take a little tour about how I used it. So like I said, this is the green wedding shoes planner. I did get our initials here on the front. When you open it up, I have a bunch of sticky notes, stickers that I didn't use, but I also included a pocket so I could go ahead and hold. So you'll see like where we have like a ring brochure in it. I then also used Avery gold tabs along, they're like the repositionable tabs. So I use those to kind of create sections. So I had sections for like what I wanted the ring to look like, the dress to look like, flowers, and then a space for like notes and all of those different things. When we get us started, this was our ideas and vision board notebook. It's funny because like here at the front, I was like, okay, our theme was gonna be classic with a rustic touch, which is literally not at all what we're doing. But I went, and this is, again, it's kind of like a journal and like memory tracking, because like we went to go and try on rings. I got to like write out which rings I liked, what styles I didn't like. And it also just holds a lot of fun memories in terms of like, it feels very quintessential, but like right when we got engaged, I got a whole bunch of bridal magazines and I sat down with my mother, my mother-in-law, and John Michael, and like we cut out the magazines and just put together our thoughts and our ideas. And there are a lot of stressful memories of wedding planning, but like this is a fun one and this is a memory I want to hold on to. So anyway, I also ended up using this notebook as we kind of went on like initial calls. We also thought about like, we started brainstorming guest list and the guest ideas. And we did actually use it when I went wedding dress shopping and for tastings and things like that throughout. So here is where all of those ideas went still are going. Then it was time to start getting into the details, which is where our number 2 item in our planner stack comes in. Now this is the Erin Condren Green Wedding Shoes Softbound planner. This is the planner in which all the magic started to happen. So it is an undated planner. And while there still definitely was a whole bunch of brainstorming, there's also so many pages in here, like checklist and pages for ideas and just like so many elements, that it was fun because then we started to get into some of that actual execution. Now I use this a ton at the beginning of wedding planning, especially like they have all these different sections. Like they literally have a whole contents page where it says budget tips, budget checklist, wedding party, vendor contract list. At those beginning stages of planning, I really use this notebook. But as we started, after we like had booked all of our vendors and we started to really like deep dive like over the past 6 to 8 months, something kind of shifted and I went more from using this planner to plan and using this planner more to document. Let's do a quick flip through and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So it's actually half memory keeping and half actual planner. Again, recently I've been using it a lot more for memory keeping, especially as we're having a lot more wedding like related events go out. It was fun because I was able to use it to like map out our bridal party. I was able to take this with me to meetings. I started to, when we had meetings with our wedding planner, be able to go through and think about like what are to-dos that we have, what are elements that need to go ahead and be worked at. I added like our save the date to the planner and different invitations. It's definitely turned more into memory keeping. I also need to like go ahead and update it, but I've been using it a lot right now, like recently, to finalize the like layout of the venue, different things like that. Highly recommend it. I actually think Erin Condren is coming out with like a new wedding planner soon, which is exciting because this is like a major wedding season and I know a lot of people aren't getting engaged. So I recommend this version and excited to see what their new version looks like. So we started with brainstorming, then we went into a little bit of like more of the details, and now it's time to move forward into action and truly into execution, which is where our third item comes through, which is a digital element. I know. And let's take a wild guess, but it's in Notion. Some people love paper planners, some people love digital planners. I think that digital planning helps you enhance your paper planning. And we have really used Notion, which I've talked a whole bunch about here on the channel, but it's been really easy to be able to go ahead and store, share information, manage tasks, create itineraries, etc. Let me show you a little bit of a quick Notion tour, especially on like how we're specifically using it. I think the biggest thing about Notion and like what really kind of in these last couple of months, like the last 3 and 4 months has kind of changed and shifted our perspective on it, is that you're able to assign people, and you, especially since we're working with multiple different vendors, like we said, we're working with our wedding planner. John Michael and I are both simultaneously working on the wedding, but also like working on very different aspects of the wedding. It's easy to go ahead and assign people to certain tasks. So it's a lot of task management related to the wedding. We have this task board, which is really a collaboration between John Michael and I, and we've been updating it as each month goes on, but these are really like a lot of the little DIY projects that we're working on, a lot of things that kind of need oversight from each other, coordinating people, but then also being able to like keep those assets and keep those elements like together in one place. So for example, one of the items that we have here is like research the band's song list. And so it's assigned to John Michael. And so like, if he doesn't do it, I know that I can go ahead and jump in, but he also knows like this is something that he has oversight on. For our wedding shower that we had down south earlier this year, since we planned like all of that, we actually used this template and Notion for legitimately everything. So like, this is how we share the timeline with our photographer and videographer down in Hilton Head. Helped and made everything run so smoothly. This has really allowed like both of us to be able to assess like how much bandwidth we have in our days. And honestly, it has made decision making so much easier. Okay, and then the last little tool in our planner stack are actually these simplified vow books. All of the aspects in our wedding, which I cannot wait to share with you guys, are all about intentionality, and I'm very focused on a lot of the little details. And so I love these cute vow books, and I think that they fit perfectly into that. So we made the decision to go ahead and write our own vows for our wedding. And the funny thing about these vow books, at least I think it's funny, is that David's Bridal actually sent me like a PR package to just kind of celebrate my engagement and planning a wedding. And these simplified vow books were in it. But I think it's funny because obviously I know about Simplified as a planner brand because I just bought some Simplified stuff. It's just fate. I have to use these as our vow books. Now, when it comes to the vows, this is actually the part that I am the most stressed about for a multitude of reasons. Number one, again, I don't love being the center of attention. So, you know, I'm gonna be the center of attention on that and that feels weird. Number two, John Michael is, in my opinion, one of the most gifted writers that I have ever met. And I just know his vows are gonna be so good. So I'm like stressed that mine aren't gonna be good enough. Now, I know that they will be fine, but like, it legitimately has stressed me out. He's been working on his vows for months and I just thought it'd be fine. If it was like create a planner spread for your vows or like create a Notion template for your vows, I would rock that. But y'all, that is my little wedding planner stack. And so in a few days, I will be making my way down the aisle. It's been an amazing journey and I've absolutely loved sharing with you and I can't wait to recap it with y'all. But I do just wanna say thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. It is finally time. We are doing this thing. And also too, in classic fashion, I have just loved being a very super type A bride and all the tools that I've used along the way. That is all that I have for y'all here today. I don't really know how to end this one because like I'm on wedding jitters, but excited. All right, y'all, my name is Lauren here with Plan with Laura. Next time you guys see me, we're gonna be a wife in wedding mode, all that thing. All right, bye y'all.